My peoples. My people. We gotta talk boxing, man. You know, tomorrow we're gonna get Jaron Ennis versus Eimantas Stanionis. Y'all already know I'm gonna be going live. We're gonna be calling that fight, which I'm expecting it to be a very good one. I'm JSmiff. This is Box Center. This is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show, my peoples. And of course, we got to talk about the whole situation with Tank Davis and Jake Paul. There's been a lot of buzz around that ever since Jake Paul revealed that him and Tank Davis were in negotiations to fight each other after the Lamont Roach fight. But Tank Davis has to go take care of that rematch, so that stalled their plans. I guess, Lamont Roach messed up their plans. You got to talk about it, my peoples. We got to talk about it because obviously there is going to be a rematch between Tank Davis and Lamont Roach. What do we think about that? And of course, is Tank Davis actually going to fight Jake Paul if he's able to beat Lamont Roach in that rematch? We got to talk about it, my peoples, because this is something that may actually happen. It may actually take place. Let me see here. And by the way, my peoples, shout out to the first person in the building came through and hit that like button right away. McDonald's, hello. What's your order, sir? I mean, what's up? You got an official McDonald's logo up in here? Great fries, by the way. But yeah, my peoples, my official order is Jaron Ennis versus Eimantas Stanionis tomorrow. What a fight. We are in for a treat, my peoples. I've been talking about that fight. Wait a minute. BK is better. We got McDonald's and Burger King in the building. Hash bash. Props to Tank for taking the immediate rematch. I mean, I would say salute to Tank Davis. He's gonna be taking the rematch as he should have. Now, I think that there was a certain level of pressure to take that fight because he didn't look good in the first one, so he has to take it. Terrence Crawford, what's good, cousin JSmiff? What's the deal, my brother? You already know, man. We talking boxing. The whole situation where, tomorrow we getting Boost versus Stanionis. That's a great unification bout, which I'm going to be calling live, by the way. And then the whole thing with Jake Paul and Tank Davis. It's crazy to see how apparently Tank Davis and Jake Paul was planning on fighting each other. And we don't really see nobody criticizing Tank for that fight. They trying to stay away from making any type of negative comments. They will shred everybody apart for getting in there with Jake Paul. But now Tank Davis is like, well, yeah. Somebody actually told me yesterday, well, Tank got to make his money. That's crazy work. Terrence Crawford, McDonald, can I get a double Whopper? I mean, we got McDonald's and Burger King in the building. Punisher, yes, sir. What's up, my peeps? I'm here to talk UFC. Just kidding. I'm here to talk about something better, and that's boxing. Hell yeah, my brother. What's the deal, Punisher? You know the sweet science is what we about. McDonald, who do you think the favorite and the underdog between Tank and Jake? I mean, obviously, Tank Davis is going to be the favorite. Jake Paul, I know that people's going to look at his size and say, oh, he's the bigger guy. Jake Paul's too big for Tank Davis. But at the end of the day, they're going to meet up at a catchweight. And Jake Paul is like multiple levels below Tank Davis when we're talking about skills. Like that big shot or that strong punch, he's not going to be able to land it on an elite level champion like Tank Davis. So even though physically it is a mismatch, Tank Davis will beat him up and will be the favorite. Like if they decide on a catchweight and actually fight for real, Jake Paul is going to get beat up. No, I'm trying to tell you, that's how it goes down. McDonald's, can they meet at 155? Tank and Jay both could make it and move well. I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking to myself it's gonna be like 160 or maybe even higher, just because Jake Paul is above 200 pounds. For his last fight, I think he was above 200 pounds. So I think it's gonna be tough for him to make 150 pounds. But we shall see. We shall see. I believe if it's gonna be for real, obviously it's gonna be at a catch weight though. The Mexican G. UFC is cool, but nothing is superior in my opinion. Watch two men roll on the ground is not my cup of coffee. I mean, UFC can be exciting as well. You get some knockout punches and knockout kicks and flying kicks, but there is a lot of fights that a lot of time is spent on the floor with guys grappling each other, looking for position and all that good stuff, and that's not fun to watch if you're not into that type of combat. So since we're boxing fans, we prefer strikes. So in UFC, when guys are striking each other, we can enjoy that. But when it goes to the floor, it could be a little boring if that's not your cup of tea. Hash Bass, Boost should look real good tomorrow night against the one-dimensional fighter. McDonald's, I wish it was not a Netflix fight and it's real. Nah, listen, Tank Davis hinted that it is going to be a real fight, that it's not going to be an exhibition. I thought it would be an exhibition because of the size difference. But it looks like they're going to be going to a catch weight and make it happen. Ernest Morales, what's up? What's good, my brother? Arch30, salute JSmiff. Appreciate you dropping in, my brother. It's Friday. We talking boxing. Tomorrow we going to get these fights. Can't wait for it. I've been talking about Boost and Stanionis for over a month, and I just can't wait. Burger King. McDonald's talking like he knows so much about boxing. Yo, he know a little shine about boxing. What's your opinion, Burger King? Do you think Jaron Boost Ennis is going to beat Stanionis? Or what do you think about Jake Paul and Tank Davis? Punisher. What do you think, JSmiff? Because it's a boxing, so anything can happen. Do you think Tank can take a clean power punch from Jake Paul? I mean, I don't know if he can take a clean shot from Jake Paul, but I know that he's good enough to not. Jake Paul won't be able to land a clean shot on him. That's the thing. Remember, as always, skills pay the bills. If you're going in there with less skills and banking on that one punch, nah, that one punch is not going to land. Terrence Crawford, JSmiff, do you drink black coffee? Nah, my brother, I stopped drinking coffee years ago. I haven't drank coffee in a very, very long time. The Mexican G. I wrestled in high school, and even I think grappling is boring. You see, there's certain people who enjoy watching the grappling and all that good stuff, but that's not for everybody. Student HS, you discuss MMA too? Nah, my brother. Box Center is 100% about boxing. Punisher, that's the only problem I have with the UFC. The control time stalling with no damage, just laying and praying and rolling around. And like I said, man, that's, when it comes to UFC, if you're not a fan of that, you're not going to enjoy a lot of fights. That's why boxing fans, when we watch UFC, we want to see strikes. We want to see people punching. We want to see people kicking, even elbows, knees. But as soon as they go to the ground, we're like, oh, man, this sucks. Like, we're not even trying to watch. Burger King, McDonald's don't even get 50% off. McDonald's, Burger King, get off my D. Okay, my peoples, we talking boxing. This is not a fast food war up in here. So let's keep it boxing, my peoples. Hash Bass, when you were live yesterday, I mentioned Leon Spinks, and I think you thought probably was talking about his brother Michael. Well, Michael Spinks is the most popular of the two. Love more Hinduism, McDonald's or Burger King for turkey belt. Student HS, okay, bet. My grandpa versus Tank Davis. Thoughts? Your grandpa versus Tank Davis. Let me see. My opinion on that one is that you need to get kicked out of this channel. This is not for you. Go to a UFC channel. Peace. Punisher. Fuck, I missed it. Left a bit to get me a drink. But real quick, you think Tank can take a clean power punch from Jake? Nah, honestly, I think that a clean power punch, Jake is not going to land on Tank Davis. So A clean punch from almost anybody can take you out if it catch you at the right time and on the right spot. But that clean punch that would actually hurt Tank Davis, I don't think Jake Paul is gonna land it. He don't have a shot of landing that shot. Damn, he don't got a shot of landing that shot. That's what I meant to say. Hope it makes sense. Ernest Morales, I see Tank drop Jake Paul with a body shot. That can happen. Now, it's harder for Tank to drop Jake Paul just because Jake Paul is so big that he might be able to take Tank's punches. But I still see, if they make it a real fight, a sanctioned fight and everything, I see Tank Davis winning that fight. Easy work. Easy work. Jake Paul's not going to be able to do absolutely nothing in there. D. Willer, what's up, OG? I'm here. What's the deal, D. Willer? We talking boxing, my brother doing what we do. McDonald's, JSmiff, do you know the size difference between Jake and Tank if they meet at 155? I mean, the size difference is going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. But what's going to make up for the size difference is the skills difference. You put Tank Davis versus a C-level fighter like Jake Paul who got beat up by Tommy Fury, and that size is not gonna be enough to get him a win. He's still getting his ass whooped. It's gonna be kind of like his brother with Floyd Mayweather. You saw that. His brother's huge against Floyd Mayweather, but still, the boxing skills is too much of a gap in boxing skills. So Tank Davis still whoops him regardless of the size difference. Ernest Morales, Tank been hit before by quality fighters. Love more Hinduism. Roach is going to be the new Winky Wright avoided. That's an interesting perspective. Let's see what happens in that rematch. If Lamar Roach beats Tank Davis, a lot of people are not going to want to fight Lamar Roach. I can already see that. D. Willer, Jay like 210. Ain't no 155 for him. He will die trying to make that. I mean, if they fighting for real, it's going to be out of catch weight. I was thinking more like 160, 165. Even 170. Because Tank have been, I'm not talking about when he training, obviously, but at his walk-around weight, Tank been at 170, 180. Tank be a chubby-ass dude when he not training. So, let's see how high he's willing to go up. Maybe they negotiating what would be a good catch weight. McDonald's, but Tommy Fighter is a good. Don't put him down. How good? Come on, McDonald's. How good is Tommy Fury actually is, bro? Tommy Fury, he's not ranked in any of the sanctioning bodies. He does. You can't name a single person that he beat outside of Jake Paul unless you Google his box rank. So Tommy Fury is not really a good fighter like that, bro. We gotta be honest. Ernest Morales, Jake can't make 160, 165. We'll see what he can make. We'll see what type of agreement they could come up with. McDonald's, Lamar Roach is the new David Benavidez. I mean, not yet. Not yet. We got to see if he fight Tank Davis, what happens in the rematch, and what happens going forward. Hash Bass, Winky Wright, never been avoided. I don't know about all that, man. I don't know about all that. D. Willer, Dave, you think Jake can get down that low? I mean, I don't know how low he can go down. But you got to keep in mind, listen, people like Jake Paul, he got available the best nutritionists, the best resources, the best dieting plans, the best everything. He could probably make something in the 160s. It's not something like he's going to be starving himself to death. They're going to do it, the right way with the right people behind it. So I believe he could make probably like 160, 165. McDonald's, check your battery. I wish it don't happen like yesterday. Nah. We on point today. Yesterday when I went down for the count, it was due to the battery, but we good for today. We got it. We got this, my people. Love more Hinduism. Jake can't even go down 175. I mean, we'll see. Because, remember, my people, this is all speculation. Tank Davis did say that they was going to fight for real. So, I guess we got to see what division are they going to fight on. They will. I'm starting to think Hash Bass a troll. Nah, he's not a troll. He's just a hater. He's just a hater. That's it. He's always looking for a negative angle to say something negative about fighters. So he's not a troll. He's just a hater. Natural born hater. Punisher. Last UFC comment. Let's keep it boxing. But trust me, even the UFC fans that don't watch boxing, even the majority don't like the rolling around on the floor. Yeah, that's like I said, man, that's not for everybody. The grappling, the floor, trying to gain position, especially when they spend 2-3 minutes on the floor, that's not for everybody. You really gotta love that type of action. Javier Hernandez, one of the best fights I ever watched was Jaime Garza versus Juan Kid Meza for 122 title in 1985. I didn't see that fight, but I've actually watched videos on it, kind of like highlights. They went at it. They went to war. Like, that was a epic fight right there. But the only thing I regret about fights, from the 80s and before, is that they don't have the same video quality as more recent fights. So you can't really enjoy it the same way. Like, if you watch fights after the 90s, from the 90s and going forward, the quality of the video, the production is much better. So you can really appreciate the skills of the fighters more when you can see it in that quality. But that was a heck of a fight, bro. Heck of a fight. Now, like I told you guys before, and y'all gonna see it, I got let me see, I got Jaron Ennis beating Eimantas Stanionis, but I see it as a very, very tough fight, my people. I don't see Boost just washing them like a lot of people saying. I don't see that. Kazim Hussein, my peoples, what's the deal, my brother? Bam. You already know what it is, man. We talking boxing. We gonna be number one. This is gonna be the number one boxing channel, Box Center, my peoples. This is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. I promise you. I promise you. Most of your favorite boxers, they know JSmiff. They be checking me out. Y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna find out soon enough. But yeah, man, look, the whole situation with Tank Davis and Jake Paul is like, do we really want to see Tank Davis get in there with Jake Paul? I know there's gonna be people who support that, but come on, man. Come on. Like, how can you even support that? Hash Bass. What separates me from some people on this live is that I've seen fights in real time and the hype that surround those fights. Seen fights in real time. I mean, what do you mean? You mean live, like you went to the event to watch the fight? But again, my peoples, I feel like Tank Davis and Lamar Roach is going to tell us a lot about that first fight. Remember what I've been saying. I see this fight playing out very competitively, but Lamar Roach being able to win it. I feel like Lamar Roach got Tank Davis's number. In the rematch, we're going to find out if I'm wrong. We're going to find out if Tank Davis is able to make the right adjustments to win that fight. My peoples, don't forget to hit that like button, man. There's 14 of us. I got 7 likes. Why y'all got to do me like I'm a C-level fighter getting beat up out here? Burger King, Jake versus Tank, gonna do the same pay-per-view sales numbers as Canelo versus Crawford. They're not gonna do as much as Canelo versus Crawford, but they will do big numbers. The reason I say that is because obviously Canelo is a huge star. And Jake and Tank, they're also stars, but Canelo, out of all of these guys who will be stepping in the ring, Canelo's the bigger star. And then Canelo and Crawford, you got the Mexican versus the African American. There's a lot of history in those showdowns. And I just see Canelo and Crawford just monster pay-per-view numbers. Ernest Morales. As for Winky, after he outclassed Tito, he had to accept the Hopkins fight because he was avoided. Yeah, Winky Wright was definitely avoided. People did not want to fight Winky Wright. D. Willer. See a troll. Because what did any of that mean, Hash Bass? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, bro. D. Willer. I can't believe we've been talking about Tank versus Jake. That's wild. That's crazy work, my brother. That is crazy work. Like, and the thing is that they were keeping it on the low I guess that was gonna be a surprise. On that day, they were gonna surprise us. If Tank Davis would have won the fight, Jake Paul was gonna climb the ring, challenge him, and they was gonna go from there, I guess. So thank you, Lamar Roche. Because of you, we not gonna get this circus show yet, cause it might actually still happen. We shall see. Javier Hernandez. I watched Kid Mega train for Garza fight. He did 1,000 push-ups, 1,000 pull-ups, 1,000 sit-ups. He was ready to go hard. Golly, that's tough. 1,000 of each one, that's tough. But salute, my brother, that you had to, the opportunity to watch an elite level fighter train. Hash Bass, it's just like the way you describe Mike Tyson, because you fortunate to witness Tyson at his best. Damn, man, Mike Tyson was a special fighter. Mike Tyson had a great career. Unfortunately, with boxing fans, that in most cases they just remember the end of a fighter's career when they started losing. They don't think about the great things those fighters actually did in the ring. Did Willa, I went to Bub versus Arrow. I don't think that means I know more than anybody. And I agree with you, D Willa. Watching it in person doesn't necessarily, you know how many people watch fights in person, they have no clue what the hell is going on. So watching a fight in person doesn't say somebody knows more than somebody else. That's for sure. Burger King. I hate that boxers nowadays have to get each other numbers to make the fights, rather than back in the day where fighters really hate and dislike each other and go to war. I mean, we're living in a social media era. We're living in a social media era, so that changed the dynamics. You have to understand that back in the day, like, let me give you an example. Oscar De La Hoya and Tito Trinidad, they really didn't like each other, right? But we're talking about two guys. One is Puerto Rican, one is American. They never see each other in person. They never see each other anywhere. And at the end of the day, it's when it's time to fight that they're going to see each other, or when it's time for a presser. But now it's different. Now fighters follow each other on social media. They see each other every day. They communicate with each other. So the relationships of fighters from now are really different from the relationships of fighters from back in the days. And that's for every sport. Because basketball players used to hate each other back in the days. Today they play against each other and then go to the club to have a drink. So that really goes to every sport, and that's part of what social media has done. D. Willer, I watched you fight, OG. Salute. Salute to you, my guy. Appreciate you, my brother. Yeah. That feeling, people don't know, man, but that feeling, I would never trade it for nothing. Stepping in the ring, you watching this whole place, everybody's in here is watching me and this dude banging it out. That's a crazy feeling right there. And matter of fact, in July, I might actually have an exhibition fight. So for that exhibition fight, I'm going to be going live so you guys can watch me trade leather with somebody. Yeah, that's getting cooked up right now. Javier Hernandez, Jimmy Montoya, and Mesa's corner. Benny Georgina had Garza corner. I was 16 years old. Mega train at the Azteca Gym in Los Angeles, California. Ooh, the Azteca Gym is iconic, bro. Iconic gym. Kazim Hussein, Tyson in the 90s. Yo, Mike Tyson was a special talent. If his personal life didn't go downhill the way that it did, Mike Tyson would have probably been definitely top 3, top 5 greatest heavyweight of all time. They will a mano y mano. You already know it, my brother. That hand-to-hand comeback is no joke. Burger King, I watch your fight. You're a warrior. You was 46 and he was 35. You kept going forward and never take a knee or back down. You're a warrior. Yo, appreciate you, Burger King. And that's what it was about. I wasn't trying to go nowhere. I was coming forward. We're going to trade leather. We're going to fight. I was there for a fight, and that's what we got into. I dropped him. He dropped me. And I wish there was another round to go, but the fight was over. But still, once you finally step in the ring and you get to fight yourself, I walked out of there. I thought that I was going to be super disappointed, super down, like, damn, I lost. And, of course, I wanted to win the fight. But Just the fact that I was able to do it at my age and compete with a guy that was almost 10 years younger than me, bigger than me, stronger than me, and it still went the distance. We still, traded some good leather. I was happy with that. I wouldn't trade that for the world. Hashbash, seeing fights live or TV, it's a different when someone sees it 10 years later on YouTube. You missed out on the feeling and the hype. Burger King, I wish I see your fight live, but it's okay. Well, I might be in an exhibition fight in July. You will be able to see that live. That's going to be broadcasted right here, my peoples, live. So y'all can see me trading leather. Love more Hinduism. What weight y'all fall at? 135. 135, my brother. So, that exhibition fight, we might be 140, 145, something like that. We don't got to, we'll see. Javier Hernandez. I used to watch the Gillette fights on Saturday night with my father. Good times, great memories. Listen, man, that's back when there was a lot of fights, a lot of free boxing, fighters facing each other. Like, even in the 90s. You look at the 90s, ESPN, HBO Boxing After Dark. Yo, in those days, everybody was fighting everybody. Simple as that. Nobody was protecting. Yo, protecting the O became a thing after the Floyd Mayweather era. Once people saw Floyd Mayweather, make all this money, become so famous, everybody wanted to protect that. Oh, Burger King, can we get some leaks about your next fight? So it's being worked out, still being worked out, but in July, I am going to be fighting an exhibition fight. So I'll be going live, and you guys are going to see it. You guys are going to see JSmiff trading leather up in there. Because I tell you what, man, I love boxing, and the opportunity of stepping in the ring and trading leather with somebody, I can't turn it down. No way. I ain't turning down no smoke, my peoples. McDonald's, what country is going to be in, and how much are the tickets? So this exhibition is going to be here in the Dominican Republic, and the tickets are going to be fairly cheap. I don't have the price right now that I could tell you, but I know it's going to be cheap. I think it's going to be like $20, $30, something like that. Hash Bash. People talking about Mike Tyson in the 90s, but didn't get the opportunity to see Tyson in the 80s when he became unified, when he became undisputed by beating 3 different champions. I mean, listen, it's what I tell people. If we look at Mike Tyson's accomplishments, Mike Tyson was a great fighter. There's people who have the audacity to say that Mike Tyson was overrated, that he wasn't all that, and a bunch of other crazy stuff, because again, they focus on the tail end of his career when he was losing, and they don't see what he actually accomplished. Mike Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion of the world in the 80s. That's over 20 years ago, over 25 years ago, and nobody has been able to surpass that record. We might live our whole lifetime and not see somebody else become a heavyweight champion at no 21 years old. That's crazy work. D. Willer, Hash Bass, damn brother, you old as fuck, OG. McDonald's, how many rounds and how long a round? You're 46, too hard for you, bro, to keep up 12 rounds, three a minute. You gotta understand, my brother, 12 round fights, that's championship fights or eliminators. But for example, when I made my pro debut, that was a 4-rounder. You gotta remember, anytime you see a professional debut, it's always gonna be 4 rounds. They usually fight 4 rounds a couple of times, then move on to 6 rounds, and so on and so forth, keep moving up. My fight was 4 rounds. Javier Hernandez, we have a fighter here in San Diego house of boxing named Adrian El Raton Torres at 135. He's coming up. He's tough. Adrian El Raton Torres. I'll be checking him out. Appreciate you dropping that little bit of information on us, bro. Tell El Raton to holla at me. Follow us on Box Center. Subscribe to Box Center. And then later on, me and him could link up and we could talk boxing. By the way, my peoples, yo, JJ Zendejas, what's the deal, my brother? Appreciate you dropping in. By the way, my peoples, on Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, I am going to have German Yo, young girl, Sarah Liegman, Princess Sarah Liegman. She's 11-0 right now. She can fight, my peoples. She let them hands fly. When I tell you she let them fly, she was over here in the Dominican Republic fighting at an event that I was covering, Rumble in Paradise, and I asked her before the fight. I saw her; she was just laser sharp focused, getting ready to fight. And I asked her, "Yo, so what are you gonna do with your opponent?" She was like, "I'm gonna knock her out." Confidently told me she was gonna knock her opponent out. Yo, she knocked her opponent out in the first round. She did what she told me she was gonna do. So Sarah Liegman, my people, there's a video. I posted a video about her so you can actually see how she looked training. She can fight. And she's gonna be rocking with me on Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern time. That's early in the morning. Yo, come tap in so y'all can see that interview. Y'all can see JSmiff. The same way I call the fight differently than everybody else, my interviews are different too, my people. Y'all definitely want to check this out. This girl can fight. She will be talking boxing with me, my people. McDonald's, is the tickets out yet? If it is summer, I'll come to watch. I'll put it on my summer trip plans. It is in summer, my brother. It's in July. It is in July. So write on the comment section of any of my videos, yo, send me the information when you have it so I can remember you. And I'll let you know where it's at, the tickets, all that. And by the way, you know who's headlining that event with his own exhibition fight? Hector Camacho Jr., the son of the legend Hector Camacho. So Hector Camacho Jr. is going to be, putting hands and feet on somebody. And y'all boy JSmiff, I might be the co-main event. Trading leather up in there. Burger King, how old is she? Sarah Liegman, I think that if I'm not mistaken, she's either 22 or 23 years old. But bro, she can fight. She can fight, my peoples. And then the funny thing is, if you see her, she looks like a model. Like, you wouldn't think she's a boxer at all. You would not think, yeah, this girl's a boxer. You would think she's a model or something like that. Matter of fact, look, let me show you. I'm going to show you, my peoples, a quick video that I posted. Look at her right there.
Fighter who was just focused, waiting to fight. And I asked her, what are you going to do? And she was like, I'm going to knock my opponent out. Well, she knocked her out in the first round. Princess Sarah Liegman is 11-0 right now. She's a professional boxer. If you don't know about her, you're about to find out. Princess Sarah is going to be rocking with JSmiff at 9 a.m. Eastern time this Sunday. Yo, come check this out and get to know Princess Sarah Liegman. She can fight. She can fight. She got hands for days, my people. That's what I'm going to tell you right now. Hands for days. So, see you guys on Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. They'll get to know Sarah. Y'all already know. This is Box Center, your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show. I'm out of here, my people. Peace.
There you go, my peoples. That's Sarah Liegman, and I'm trying to tell you, the girl can fight, my peoples. Now, Burger King, for your question, would JSmiff accept if he got an opportunity to fight Jake Paul right now? Hell yeah. I'm 46 years old. Jake Paul's a lot bigger than me, and I'm not going to tell you that I will beat Jake Paul. He's too big for me. I think I will be able to do enough to defend myself to where he don't knock me out, but I'm not going to beat him. But for the type of payday that I will get for stepping in the ring with Jake Paul, I would not hesitate. Send me the contract and I signed it on the spot. Burger King, you got to promote this interview more if it's going to be crazy. Yo, I'm telling you, when people see this interview, they're going to enjoy it. Because like I said, the way that I carry it is a lot different than what people used to see. It's going to be fun to watch that interview. Whoever watches is going to have a better understanding of who is Sarah Liegman and where she's headed. Because I'm trying to tell you, this girl, she's headed for big things, my peoples. I promise you. D. Willer, I have some good questions ready for her. Hash Bass, Hector Camacho could really fight and will put hands on fighters, but some people look at the flash. And with Hector Camacho, is the same thing. Like we've said about other fighters, like they had a great career, multi-division champion, unified title, but people only focus at the tail end of their career when they started losing. They don't see how special they actually were. McDonald's, I watched JSmiff versus Jake. If Jake started beating on my boy JSmiff, I'm jumping on that ring, brother. I'm telling you, I would sign that contract in a heartbeat. Go get the money. Boost versus Stanionis. You think it's going to be a great fight tomorrow? My brother, I'm super, super excited about Boost and Stanionis. That's going to be a real good fight. He's going to be competitive. I've been telling people for over a month, Boost is not going to wash Stanionis. It's not going to be an easy fight. I got Boost winning it, but I got him winning in a very tough fight. JJ's in the house. Why is all these people calling their cell food names? I'm getting fucking hungry. I mean, I don't know, man. That's the new stuff, I guess. Chucho, the realist. What's the deal, Chucho? You know what it is, my guy. We talking boxing over here. Don't forget to hit that like button, my peoples. Don't forget to share these videos. Let the world know that this is the #1 boxing content, period. Javier Rodriguez, Hector Macho Camacho at 126 was a bad dude. Fast, had defense. He never hit the canvas. Rest in peace. He was here in a training with Jimmy Montoya at the Azteca. I watched him spar Tony Baltazar. Yo, Hector Camacho was a special fighter. Very special fighter. And that's why he was able to accomplish so much. McDonald's. Why DR got less population than USA, but DR got much more than Olympics than USA. Yo, it's crazy because, and DR is a small third world country. Yo, the last Olympics, the 2024 Olympics, the US brought 1 bronze medal in boxing. 1 bronze medal in boxing, right? Dominican Republic got 2 bronze medals in boxing. So Dominican Republic got this little ass country that fits. Yo, Dominican Republic, this whole island fits inside of Texas alone more than 10 times. You could put us inside of Texas more than 10 times. That's how small we are. And we got more medals than the US in Olympic boxing. That's crazy. Terrence Crawford, JSmiff. After the live over, let's go to Popeye just to make McDonald's and Burger King jealous. McDonald's, hey yo, Terrence Crawford, chill. Terrence Crawford, the fuck wrong with you, my G? But I gotta tell you, my peoples, look, Dominican boxing is really, really getting on the map. You know, the amateur program out here is really good. And I see some fighters, I see some amateur fighters that when they turn professional, they're gonna give problems. They're gonna give people problems. By the way, Edwin De Los Santos, his brother turned professional a few weeks back. And he won his pro debut. But there's a lot of young fighters out here, my people, that they're going to be very special. Burger King, JSmiff, what the training camp is going to be like. I'm actually be sharing videos with y'all on my training camp. I'm already running, but running is a lifestyle for me. But it's going to help me, you know, when it comes to cutting weight. But I'm going to share videos with y'all, me going to the gym, hitting the bags, sparring. My training camp is going to be, I already been to a training camp, so it's going to be very similar. I'm going to do a lot of the same training that I did to prepare for my fight. Only, you know, it's going to be an exhibition, so I'm not, you know, trying to kill myself in training, trying to kill myself cutting weight like I had to for my pro debut. Now it's going to be a little bit more relaxed, but you guys will have the opportunity to see some of the videos from the training camp. Burger King, do you any luxury tools to boost productivity for training? To boost productivity for training? No, my brother, not really. When it comes to training, I'm going to be going to a gym where they got a nice punching bag, where they got some nice speed bags, where they got some, you know, some regular gym equipment to put that work in. I'm going to be putting that work in. But like I said, it's an exhibition fight. I'm not gonna be going super hard. I'm not gonna be going like I was in training camp for my professional debut. But of course, you want to step in the ring. You want to look good. You don't want to look all shaky, all rusty and shit. JJ has nice. Good job, JSmiff. You can do this. Hell yeah, my guy. I can't wait. I can't wait to be in the ring trading leather. That's a sensation, man. That it just feels too good. McDonald's. For real, just stay simple and you never lose or get distracted. That's how it is. That's how it is. Take it back to the beginning. That's what it's all about. Hash Bash. Boost should make this fight easy by going everything behind the jab. I mean, Boost is the guy that's going to have the reach advantage. So I expect him to work behind that jab. But you know how it is. Boost likes to trade too. He likes to step inside of the phone booth and trade leather. And Stanionis loves it on the inside too. So I believe that, a fight is going to break out. A fight is going to break out. That's why I feel like it's going to be tough. Boots. And that's what I like about Boots. He's willing to risk it to make an exciting fight for the fans. If he could win in boring fashion and make it look easy, he would. And he could. But that's not what Boots does. He really wants to perform for the fans. And by the way, that's going to be in Philly. Boots going to be there to show out. He's not going to be there to try to make it safe. He's there to make it exciting. McDonald's. How tall the fighter you fighting? And what weight y'all fighting? The exhibition, to be honest, I'm not sure. They're working out the details. As far as height, I believe he's just going to be a little bit taller than me, not by much. Go get the money. I believe Stanionis will make Boost respect his power. That's why I've been telling people that it's going to be a lot more competitive than what they think. Like, Stanionis got power. He hits real hard with both hands. Let them hands go. He's technically sharp too. It's not like he's just somebody who just throws a lot of punches all crazy and stuff. Nah, he's sharp. Punch placement is serious. So we got to see when the time comes. But that's it. It's going to be no more talking. It's tomorrow. And by the way, my peoples, I will be going live. You should already know that I'm going live for these fights. I'm going to be live. I'm going to be calling it as I see it, like I always do. So it's going to be interesting because we'll do the fight on Saturday. I'm going to be going live. I'm going to be calling the action. And then Sunday morning, I'm going to be live with Sarah Liegman. Me and her going to talk boxing. I'm going to ask her some great questions. And after that, I'll do another live to talk about the results from Boost versus Stanionis. Lots to talk about. Hash Bash, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Oh, it's in New Jersey. I thought it was going to be in Philly. I thought it was going to be in Philly. Burger King. You're Orthodox, JSmiff, right? Yup, I'm Orthodox, my brother. Go get the money. Stanionis, he swings with bad intention. Yo, that's why I'm telling people. Look, I know that Boost is going to be the favorite, and I expect Boost to win. But that's what, remember I told you this, that's the anatomy of an upset. Upsets happen when we all think this guy's going to win, and this guy comes out of nowhere and beats the guy that we thought was that dude. So I expect Boost to win. I got him winning the fight. But if Stanionis was to pull off the upset, I will be one of those people that's telling you, yo, I didn't see it coming, but I'm not surprised that it happened. Stanionis can do it. He got the skill set to upset Boots. Chris Fontaine, I got Boots in 9. Okay. And that's fair. That's fair because, if Boots is the favorite, if most of us expect him to win that fight, predicting a knockout in the 9th round, that's fair. I could also see that fight going the distance, by the way. Stanionis is a dog, and when a fighter's never been knocked out, it's hard to predict that they're going to be knocked out. Fighter never been knocked out, so it's hard for me to predict that he's going to get knocked out, as good as he is. Burger King, JSmiff, how the studio is looking. Did you complete the setup yet? Not yet, my brother. There's a couple of things that I got to do in the wall because I want to do like a poster kind of thing, so you can see some fighters and some. So I'm still working on some images that I want for the walls. There's some details, but we're working on it. Soon enough, that studio's gonna be unveiled. Um, but yeah, my people, Stanionis, what I see in him is that he's such a good fighter that I won't be surprised if it goes the distance and he loses on the scorecards. Whether it's unanimous decision, split decision, I don't know. But I actually see the fight going the distance. Burger King, what going to happen in it? Interviews or streams or for all? So I'm setting it up in a way that I'm gonna have one side of the studio for me to go live. That's this live that I'm doing in my balcony. I don't know if y'all hear it's raining right now, but this live that I'm doing in a balcony, I'm gonna be doing it in the studio. There's gonna be a background behind me where you see some fighters and some fight related stuff. And then in the studio there's gonna be another section where I'm gonna be doing the interview. So my live and my interviews are gonna be in the studio but with a different background. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of stuff in the studio. McDonald's, can't wait for the studio. I'm sure it's going to be crazy. Hell yeah, my brother. Hell yeah. Of course it is. It's gonna match that box center energy. Hash bash. It'll be. I'll be totally surprised if Boots lose or don't look good, and it should be KO or unanimous decision. I mean, remember he could lose. He could look mad good and get hit with a big shot and lose because of that. So I'm not. I know that he's gonna look good. They're both gonna look good. They're both gonna land big shots on each other. It's just about who's gonna win it. What's gonna be the final outcome? Like I said, I got Boost winning that fight. I know he's gonna be the favorite. All I'm saying is that Stanionis is so good that I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled off the upset. Stanionis is that good. And y'all gonna see, my people. Y'all gonna see this fight is gonna be real competitive. It's gonna be a tough, tough fight. And it's gonna be the toughest opponent that Boost faced so far. We'll be able to tell by the way the fight plays out. Because remember, Karen, Boost went the distance with Karen, right? Twice. But Karen was just a guy who was very, herky-jerky, moves a lot, constantly fainting, very hard to time him. But at no point in that fight did we think, oh, he might beat Boots or he's beating him. No, he was just tough to hit. And he's a good fighter. Karen, a very good fighter, by the way. An Olympic medalist. Very good fighter. But Stanionis is going to give Boots tougher competition. It's not just going to be about making a miss. It's going to be about stepping inside of the phone booth with Boots and trading leather and winning some exchanges and landing some big shots on Boots. Y'all going to see that. He's going to have his moments too during this fight. It's not going to be like Boots is going to wash him, just easily just dispose of him. Nah. It's going to be an interesting fight. They're going to trade leather. I do feel like Boots got more in his bag of tools, and he's going to keep reaching in and pulling out all them tools. And because of that, I got him beating Stanionis. And I don't even know if Boots is going to be switching too much. Is he going to start this fight as a southpaw and fight most of it as a southpaw? Is he going to fight orthodox? We're going to see. We're going to find out. JSmiff. McDonald, JSmiff, what's your diet and training camp? If you don't mind me asking. A lot of fish, a lot of chicken, a lot of salad. That's the majority. And a lot of water. Hash bash. Karen was also big and tall and awkward. Super awkward. Super awkward. Burger King. You think Floyd versus Tank will happen? Nah. Floyd Mayweather versus Tank Davis will never happen. Simply because Floyd a smart dude. He knows. He's, in his late 40s. Close to 50 years old. He's not going to step in the ring with Tank Davis, who's just 30 years old, and get beat up. Because he will get beat up trying to fight Tank. Floyd not dumb. He's not going to do that. Kazim Hussein, I don't think so. Yeah. I don't see that. I don't see no possibility of Floyd Mayweather trying to fight Tank Davis. Floyd is too smart. If he boxes, he's gonna box somebody. I could see him doing a rematch with Pacquiao. They're about the same age. Okay. I could see Floyd getting in the ring with somebody who's at the tail end of their career, in their 40s, or maybe already retired, coming back with him. Okay. But he's not gonna fight, somebody in the peak of their prime. That doesn't even make sense. Ernest Morales, I believe it's the same Boots that we saw 2 times versus Karen. Then Boots will have to work overtime. He will test Boots. Boots will win the hard way. That's how I see it, man. I see this as, Boots versus Stanionis as a very competitive fight where Boots is going to have to make some adjustments, maybe even switch from southpaw to orthodox throughout the fight multiple times. He's going to find a way to win. Because that's the thing, look. A guy like Boots is a special fighter. And what do special fighters have in common? They find a way to win. I believe Stanionis is that good that Boots is going to have to find a way to win. You're not just going to step in there and just dispose of him easily or nothing like that. Dixie Normus, Miller versus Ward, be a good fight. Miller's still fighting? You talking about Big Baby Miller? Because Big Baby Miller, man, has been taking some big baby beatings. Hash Bass, only possible way I can see Floyd versus Tank is at 147. Nah, but like I said, man, Tank is a great fighter. He's in his prime, the hardest puncher in his own division. Floyd Mayweather's not gonna step in there with a young lion like that, and even get embarrassed out there, even possibly get knocked out. Floyd not gonna do that. McDonald's, Deontay Wilder versus Jake Paul. It's a good fight because Deontay does not care about being a champion or a professional no more. Well, we may actually get Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul. And I think, I said it before. If Anthony Joshua fights Jake Paul, that means he already gave up on boxing. That means he already decided, no, I can't beat none of the champions. Usyk already beat me twice. I don't want to fight these other big dudes. Let me go in there with Jake Paul. I could wash him. I could smoke him. I could beat him up. Feel good about myself, about giving him that beating while making a bag. Dixie Normus, Miller versus Ward, been announced. Been announced? What you mean? Hold on. When was... I didn't hear about that fight. Kazim Hussein, Big Baby, Ernest Morales, Floyd versus Tank will never happen. Yeah. I don't see that fight happening at all. McDonald's, AJ will kill Jake. It's going to be fake. No way. We'll see. Because look, if it's a real fight that's going on their pro record, it's not going to be fake. AJ is not going to allow Jake Paul, to beat him just like that. Like, oh, well, let's agree so you could beat me. Nah. Now, if it's an exhibition, it could be scripted. No knockouts, no hurting each other. If it's an exhibition. But if it's a real fight going on their resume, on their box rec, AJ's going to beat him up. Beat him up. Real talk, my peoples. Burger King, all pro boxers using Jake or he using them. I mean, Jake Paul in reality found his own lane, if you think about it. He found his own lane. He figured out, I got a big YouTube following, and they'll come and follow me into boxing. So that's why he's able to fight, retired fighters, retired MMA fighters, basketball players, YouTubers. He could fight whoever he wanted and make a lot of money. So he carved his own lane in boxing. Dixie Normus, YouTuber, bro. The presser was the other day. Nah, I'll check it out, my brother. I just wasn't aware of that. Nick Vlahogiannis, your thoughts on Tyson versus Paul? Was it fixed? So the fight was not fixed. They really went in there trying to fight each other, but Mike Tyson ran out of gas by the 4th round, and Jake Paul really carried him. Jake Paul could have knocked him out, but he carried him and let him go the distance. And to be honest, if Jake Paul would have knocked Mike Tyson out, he may have had a hard time getting out of that arena without some type of confrontation. It could have got crazy up in there because a lot of people was in there like, yo, he better not hurt Mike. So I think it was a smart business decision to just, okay, I got him beat, let me carry him. Thing about Mike and Jake is that people was fooled by them 30-second videos they saw of Mike Tyson punching bags and looking fast. Nah, man, Mike Tyson is nearly 60 years old. A 30-second video of him looking good wasn't fooling me. I knew what was gonna happen. I told people that was gonna happen. Dixie Norman's Ben versus Eubank be over in 7 rounds. I don't know who you got winning that fight in 7 rounds, but I'm predicting Conor Ben winning that fight by brutal knockout of Chris Eubanks Jr. Hash Bash, look what AJ did to that UFC fighter. Pummeled him. And a nasty knockout. Nasty. Burger King. His brother started with this YouTube boxing shit before him. I mean, I think they were already both planning on it together. They were both already training for it together. It's just that his brother wasn't as good as him. He turned out to be the better one. Underrated Will, do you think Jake Paul need Turkey? Jake Paul does not need Turkey. He already got his MVP promotion. He already got a large following. He got what he needs to be able to make money in boxing. Kazeem Hussein, Ben versus Eubank. Who you guys got? I got Conor Ben. I know that Chris Eubank is going to be the favorite for that fight. He's the bigger guy. Conor Ben is moving up in weight. I still got Conor Ben winning. Burger King, I searched for your fight everywhere to find it with good quality, but I didn't find it at all. I want to make some edits for it to help you out and motivate people about boxing that a 44-year-old man debut. So they actually had it on that network. There was a network that played those fights, but honestly, I've been looking for it. I haven't even been able to find it myself. So the only footage that I have is what I posted on here. If you want, on the same video for the fight, you can send me a little note and we can link up. I can send you that video, via WhatsApp or via Messenger or whatever. Kazeem Hussein, that's Burger King. Yo, Burger King is in the building. But again, my people, Tank Davis and Jake Paul, I know that there is a huge size difference. I still see Tank Davis beating him up. I still see Tank Davis putting the beats on Jake Paul. Because like I told y'all, man, Jake Paul is not a very good boxer. If somebody who doesn't box get in the ring with Jake Paul, they're going to get pummeled. They're going to get beat up. Don't get it twisted. The average Joe cannot get in the ring with Jake Paul and actually think about winning. They're going to get beat up. But when we're talking about elite level boxers, Jake Paul is never going to be an elite level boxer. And he's never going to beat an elite level boxer. Y'all got to remember, man, it was Tommy Fury who beat him up. Tommy Fury isn't ranked in any of the sanctioning bodies, bro. Tommy Fury is like a part-time boxer. And he beat Jake Paul. Imagine if he get in there with the champions, with the top level guys. He's going to get absolutely pummeled. Burger King, I already downloaded your video and tried to better it with good quality. I work it out and find what I do. Alright, I appreciate it, my brother. Hell yeah. Underrated Will. It's average people that can beat Jake. Anybody can beat Jake. Nah, underrated Will. That's not true, brother. The average Joe that doesn't train in the gym is not going to beat Jake Paul. They'll get knocked out by Jake Paul brutally. He will show out and look good in front of the average Joe. I'm trying to tell you. You got to understand, my brother. Jake Paul, at this point, he's already been training in boxing for like 5-6 years. Not only that, he's been training in boxing for like 5-6 years. Yo, the guy's training with real boxers, with real coaches, with the best equipment, the best resources. He knows how to box. He learned how to box. He's just not an elite level boxer. But somebody who's not a boxer step in the ring with Jake Paul, they getting lumped up brutally. Underrated will. An average Joe that can fight will beat Jake Paul. If they don't got no boxing experience, nah, bro, not in the ring, they won't beat Jake Paul. I'm telling you. An average Joe that ain't training in boxing will get pummeled by Jake Paul. Pummeled. Because it's that boxing, my brother, looks a lot easier than what it actually is. And people in their mind, they're elite in their mind, but when they step in the ring, they be looking goofy as fuck. I'm going to put it to you like this, bro. I seen people, in the gym. I saw this in the gym with my own two eyes. Grown men who go to the gym, who can fight, who been in a lot of fights and beat a lot of people up in the street and walk around saying, yeah, I'm 30-0 in the streets. Nobody beat me, right? Go to a gym and spar with a 15-year-old and get beat up brutally. A 15-year-old kid beat the shit out of a grown man. But I'm talking about a 15-year-old kid who's already traveling to all these tournaments, who's training with professional boxers, who has a great coach, sharp, IQ, all that. 15-year-old kids beating up grown men. And I see these dudes like their whole ego just broken down into little pieces. So if you ain't training in boxing, you're not going to beat somebody who is training in boxing. Even if it's Jake Paul, my brother. I promise you. Anybody who beating everybody up in the streets, but they not boxing with boxing gloves, they step in the ring, Jake Paul will pummel them. Easy work for Jake Paul, I'm telling you. McDonald's. Jake Paul is a strong dude and a warrior as well for having this personality to fight these pros and call them out. Well, part of his calling out pros is also, marketing techniques. Because there's no way, think about it. If he lost to Tommy Fury, there's no way that he believes he could beat Canelo Alvarez. There's no way that he believes that he could beat AJ. There's no way that he believes he could beat those guys. He lost to a C-level fighter. But he will step in the ring. Now, the only reason I find it hard to say that he's a warrior is because I don't see you as a warrior when you're fighting damn near 60-year-old Mike Tyson, retired MMA fighters, retired basketball players. Like, for me to say he's a warrior, I got to see him get in there, finally start getting in there with boxers your age and your weight and battle it out with them. He not doing that. He trying to build his whole resume off of retired people to then fight a big name that you didn't even earn it. Fight the people that's really there in the division, in the weight class around your age, that have around your same record, and show us. I need to see that. Underrated will. I boxed for 4 years, then I got arrested and messed up my chances at Olympics. But I know what you're saying. I feel you, my brother. And you know what? I definitely understand how you feel, because when I boxed, when I was an amateur boxer, right? I wanted to be a professional fighter. I was going to stick around in amateur boxing. But when I lost in the Golden Gloves, I lost my motivation. Started, doing things. Started hitting the streets. And that's it. I left boxing. So I didn't go to jail at that moment, at least. But I started making the wrong decisions and messing up in my personal life. Hash Bass. I'm quite sure you've seen fighters who we consider as bums are knocking people out in the gym and in the streets. That's a fact. We could consider, because when we consider a fighter, oh, he's a bum, that's because we comparing them to elite level fighters. So because they can't beat the elite, we're like, oh, he's a bum, he's a bum. But what we don't understand, well, I understand it, is that the fighters that we call bums will knock out anybody who's not in the gym training in boxing. They getting knocked out by these fighters. And like easy work type of shit. McDonald's. Mike Tyson needs money. Nah, bro. Trust me, Mike Tyson does not need money. Mike Tyson is set. If you look at his cannabis business, the marijuana business that he got going on, he's making a lot of money. Mike Tyson is doing good, bro. But just because you're doing good doesn't mean that you're going to turn down a $20, $30 million payday. But without that fight, Mike Tyson was already doing real good. Kazim Hussein, Mike doesn't need money, bro. Yeah, he don't need money. Mike Tyson is paid like crazy. That's it. Mike Tyson, with the way that Mike Tyson set up his life now, the businesses that he got going on, he'll never be broke again. McDonald's, what do you think is the perfect fight for Jake so he can prove himself that he got it? Nah, I believe that Jake Paul just needs to fight real boxers his age. That's it. Stop calling out the big names and all that shit. Stop doing all that and actually fight ranked opponents that are your age, in your weight class. And that's how he proves himself. Even one fighter, if Jake Paul fights a guy that's, let's say, 10 wins and 2 losses, and it's in his same weight class, and it's around his same age, he'll get mad credit for that. But he keep fighting guys who are retired, who don't box, who practice other sports. He's never going to be respected like that. There's always going to be the naysayers, which I'm one of them, that's like, come on, Jake Paul, he not fooling me. He fooling people to believe that he can fight. He's a C-level fighter, fighting retired people, fighting old people. McDonald's, but Jake is looking for money. That's all you got to understand. Yeah, he's looking for money, but remember, your original question was for him to prove himself. Proving himself and looking for money is two different things. You could get money and not prove yourself. He's done that just fine. But if you're asking me about prove himself, you don't prove yourself by making money, bro. You prove yourself by beating people that it leads us to believe, okay, you can fight. You beat that professional boxer. Hash Bash. We don't say Warren Buffett needs money and he's in his 80s and still working. That's the thing, man, that there's this notion, and especially from us, the poor, you know, we might not be broke, but we're not in the rich bracket. There's this notion from us that rich people that are real rich, they don't have to work no more. And they don't realize that these people keep working and they keep making money. Floyd Mayweather keeps making money. And right now, he got generational wealth. Floyd Mayweather don't got to work a day in his life, my people. Yeah, he working, he grinding, he hustling. He posting about his club and about the new drinks and about the new vapes. Selling products, selling drinks. Hustling. That's what it's about. And that's why you also see people going broke. Not just in boxing, across all sports. Why? Because they make a lot of money, but then they build a lifestyle that requires a lot of money. Now they got this big mansion with this huge lawn that require maintenance. They got these 3, 4, 5 cars that are expensive to own, because changing that one car battery is thousands of dollars. Not the regular cars that we have with a $200 battery. So all these things that they get while they're making all this money, what happens when they stop making money? They go broke, because they can't handle maintaining that big ass mansion, that car collection, all these things that they have. They can't handle. Motherfucker bought a lion. Guess what? It costs $10,000 a month to maintain that lion. You making $10,000 a month for your pet lion? Nope. Now you're going broke. So that's the problem, that people, they make a lifestyle for themselves and they stop making money. That lifestyle makes them go broke. Once you got that type of lifestyle, you got to keep generating money. You got to keep making money. And keep making even more money than what you was making before. Kazim, I love this channel. My peoples, appreciate it, my brother. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And I'm telling you, Kazim, this channel is going to be the #1 boxing channel. We already got to 1,000 subscribers. Eventually, we're going to get to 2,000, but we're going for 1 million. This channel is going for 1 million, and it's going to be #1 in boxing. It's the inevitable. Burger King. I think Jake Paul versus AJ is perfect. I mean, it's perfect because we're gonna have the opportunity to watch Jake Paul get knocked out. We've been wanting to see him get slapped. We'll get that opportunity. AJ will take care of that for us. Burger King. The bosses be acting like cartel leaders when they get their first paycheck. Yo, that money be having people acting crazy. People don't be knowing how to act. And then and look, there's the one thing that we gotta understand also. When you've never had a lot of money in your life, right? You live a regular life, grew up struggling for everything. Yo, when you finally get a big check, you want to get that car that you never had. You want to get those chains that you never had. You want to get those watches. You want to hook up your boys, your clique. You want to hook them up with shit. You want to buy expensive gifts for people. And that's how people go broke. They literally give away most of their money and shit that they didn't need. And I'm going to tell y'all something, my peoples. When I blow up, because Box Center is going to blow up. So I'm not trying to be cocky. Real talk, my peoples. I'm not trying to be cocky or no shit like that. But I'm just being real with y'all. When I blow up, I say when I blow up because I know I'll blow up. And I'm just being honest with you, right? When I blow up, people who got a lot of money, I'm never going to give them an expensive gift. You got a lot of money. You could get yourself an expensive gift. You goofball. For your birthday, I'm getting you a fucking pen with your name on it. If I want to, instead of me giving somebody, let's say, a $5,000 watch, I take that $5,000, yo, and I feed like 5 hungry families. I go to people who are flat broke. Yo, here's this $1,000 for you. Bam, handle that. I go to somebody else who broke. Yo, here's this $1,000. Pay your bills. I'm not gonna be giving people who have a lot of money some money or some expensive gifts, which they do that shit with each other. Oh, look, I got you a pair of $1,000 shoes. Motherfucker got a shoe collection in his closet, over 100 shoes, and you giving him a pair of shoes? Nah, he don't need a pair of shoes. Instead of giving somebody a $1,000 pair of shoes, I'm going to 10 broke people and I'm getting them $100 each. Here, go get something to eat. Here, buy yourself a shirt. Buy yourself some jeans. But I think different, my people. Terrence Crawford, 60% of them, y'all really be doing that. Burger King, Terrence Crawford, we got 60% off. Tell them McDonald's. Underrated Will, who's winning tomorrow? I'm going to tell you right now. Tomorrow, I got Jaron Ennis winning that fight. But it's going to be a tough one. I got a very good fight happening. I see it as a competitive one. And I feel confident that it's going to be a real good one, my people. I'm guessing y'all can hear the rain. It's raining cats and dogs out here, my peoples. Flip. Let's make this Shakur and Tank fight happen. I'm tired of the excuses. I'm ready to see this fight. What will it take? I mean, it will take somebody convincing Tank Davis to make it happen. Tank Davis is the one who decides who he fights. And we already know he's been ducking Shakur for the last 2-3 years already. So he got to make up his mind and make that fight happen. Got to make up his mind. Make the damn fight happen. Real talk. My peoples, I'm about to end this live. It's raining like crazy out here. Some of that rain is coming into the balcony. I'm not trying to get wet out here. But I want to thank all of y'all for tuning in. Y'all already know what it is, man. We're going to be going live tomorrow, doing what we do. I'm going to be calling them fights tomorrow. And Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, I will be live with Princess Sarah Liegman. Remember, she's a professional fighter with a record of 11-0. The girl can fight, my people. Tap in with me so y'all can see her. Y'all can get to know what she's about. Flip. Good night, Jay. Catch you tomorrow, soldier. Appreciate you, my brother. And I appreciate everybody who tuned in tonight. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow, man. Y'all already know what it is. Box Center is headed for #1. It's the inevitable, my peoples. I'm your boy, JSmiff. This is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. I'll see you tomorrow, my peoples. One love. Peace. Let me go get something to eat, man. I'm out of here.